Yes, we just had a show and we've got some breaking news. So we're testing out our breaking news graphic and bringing you all some breaking news. If you were just watching our stream, we were talking about what happened, among other things, in New York City with Mayor de Blasio dancing completely out of touch with reality in a Times Square that he had closed down, and about the fact that Andy Cohen, well, a number of people jumped all over him, Meghan McCain on the right, saying it was the most completely politically out of touch act you could do, shutting down Times Square and then dancing by yourself with your wife in the middle on TV and saying how great New York is. What a mess. But then we talked about Andy Cohen, who was on Andy Cohen from, the Bachelor franchise and the Housewives franchise on with Anderson Cooper. And Anderson Cooper takes a drink, chokes on the alcohol. And at this point, the mayor is dancing. And Andy Cohen goes off about how he just watched the mayor and he choking is how he felt when he watched Mayor de Blasio dancing, and saying, I just didn't need to see that at the beginning of 2021. And he gets angry and is like, do something, do something, honestly, do something with this city, get it together. So Crafty, do we have the video of that?
Yeah, I have the video. Do you want me to share the video first or the protection first?
We'll tell you why we're considering this a little bit of our own version of breaking news.
Sure. Yep. Let me go ahead and get the video queued up here.
Crafty, the show's producer, discovered something rather interesting, which we're going to get to. Our breaking news, we do it different. We break the news after we set it up. We don't start with the breaking. We don't start with the clickbait. All right. Let's see if we can play this video. There they are, Andy Cohen and Anderson Cooper drinking.
Down the toilet.
I definitely do not need this.
Fecal mess that it was. This is a little half. I like saying that. Let's just. I'm glad I brought 2 bottles of this.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
All right. Oh my God.
That's how I felt when I saw Mayor de Blasio dancing just now. I just don't need to see that at the beginning of 2021. Do something with this city. Honestly, get it together.
God. Goodness. All right.
Anyway.
Okay.
We still got a lot of show.
Tiptoeing back to
awkward moment. Funny. Point made, not left, not right. People are like disgusted. This mayor is so out of touch. So de Blasio is so out of touch. I mean, despite his wealth, he's been out of touch the whole time. He's constantly out of touch. It's hard to tell what he is. He's just plain out of touch. Shuts down New York City, dances in Times Square. That's fine. People criticize him on both sides. We talked about it, laughed about it, made a point about how elite politicians are and celebs are often out of touch. And then Crafty discovers this. Come on up, full screen, Crafty. Come on, don't hide in the shadows. Don't hide. You look like you're on an LSD trip. But Crafty discovers that he's trying to get this as we're doing the show live. He's trying to capture this stuff, and he's getting, he's catching it up in real time. And he discovers that he can't. He's trying to get the clip, and he's trying to Google it. And what happens, Crafty?
All right, so let me walk you through it. And this is kind of trippy, but you guys can do this at home too. I'm kind of surprised that this is actually going on. So take a look, guys. I'm going to share the screen here.
No, before you share the screen, just tell people what you tried to do.
All right. So,
tell them what you told me. You basically
okay. So I wanted to bring the clip up right in the middle of the show. I wanted to go ahead and just blasting de Blasio. So I'm thinking, okay, cool. It's got to be up on YouTube. So I go ahead and I type a Google search and I type in, like Andy Cohen roasts and torches and gagging, Anderson Cooper, de Blasio dancing. Anyways, I'm trying to type up the relevant keywords to try to find it in Google to see if someone has that video up on YouTube. When you look for it on Google, it doesn't show up. If you go on YouTube and search for it, you have to dig for it, but it's there. But it's weird that it doesn't pop up in any of the Google search results. So, A, that's kind of weird. 2, the only company that has it is something called AirTV. When people actually record video from something and then they put it up on it's like a video on demand, video recording service. Great. If it weren't for that, I wouldn't be able to put that that critique video up, which is just like, I shouldn't have to dig that hard for something that is specifically relevant, right? It was at New Year's, it was at Times Square, this was talking about, political figureheads. This should be easy to find. It should not be this difficult, and Google shouldn't be hiding, the specific YouTube videos, which I'll show you here in a sec, of that critique.
All right. So and we're going to keep this short, you guys, but for the sake of skeptics like me, Crafty, is this just maybe you just weren't finding it? I mean, you're actually saying it's somehow being blocked.
Jesus, when you work for an IT company, this isn't.
Wait. For the non-techies, why would this? Why is this actually being blocked? Why is it just maybe it just didn't show up?
Well, if it's not being shown up, I mean, it's not rocket science. You just put in the relevant keywords. Trending events, let's say like, New York Times or New Year's Eve at the New York Times Square, those are going to be relevant videos. Those are going to be showing up higher up in the list. It shouldn't be, ostracized from search lists. It's not brain science. It's not rocket science. It's not brain surgery. Sorry. And this is just too important to not, hey, celebrities are talking about Bill. Why is this not showing up?
So M. Housing one is saying it's not blocked.
And I will show you. The fact that it doesn't come up, you know what? Forget it. I'm just going to show it. Rob, I'm going to show it up on the screen. So take a look. Here you could see Anderson Cooper, gags, roasts, torches, deBlasio, dancing, Cohen. The relevant keywords. Guess what? It doesn't show up in the search results when I'm under videos looking for that Andy Cohen video, right? It just doesn't. Now let's say if I go under YouTube. Now let's go ahead and type in the same keywords. Nothing. Okay, but if I'm in YouTube, Andy Rohan roasts Mayor deBlasio live on New Year's Eve. So how many keywords did I use there? 6? And they're showing up. So right. This is just now blatant protection from Google and YouTube.
So Crafty, we're going to wrap this up. Put that away. So here's what I want to say. People say it's not blocked. What I want to be clear on is, and I'm a skeptic of how things are censored. I think what we're discovering is there's a sort of a kind of a filtration censorship, which Crafty's pointing out, which is it's not technically blocked, meaning it's not been removed so you can't find it. But the search engines, which normally would let you find what's most relevant if you put in all the key relevant keywords, Andy Cohen, Anderson Cooper, Times Square roast, Bill deBlasio, put those all together. The only thing that should come up first would be Andy Cohen, Anderson Cooper, New York Times roasting Bill deBlasio. There's only one clip that would really capture that. That should be at the top if the search engine's truly showing everything that those keywords lead to, right? And when it's not anywhere in the list of videos and you can only find it by going into one sort of off-source service, it's technically not blocked, but it's been filtered because otherwise it would show up. It's like if I made a birthday video of myself, Rob Nelson does a birthday party, on top of Mount Everest, and I put in all that and a video showed up of the other Rob Nelson, the former ABC News correspondent, having a birthday party in Jamaica, you'd be like, well, that's not the right video.
I shouldn't have to search this hard. Nobody should. And they can use the exact same keywords that I did.
Yep.
And this is just blatant, and it's not censorship, and you're right. But it is obvious filtering to protect the United States citizens from hearing a critique from, like an influencer like Andy Cohen, talking about some of the negative things that deBlasio's done. This should not be that hard to find. I shouldn't have to dig for it.
What I think would be true, you guys, is if Andy Cohen had said something really positive about Joe Biden in a roast or toast, or said something really negative or positive about Mario or Andrew Cuomo, or said something really negative about Donald Trump, and you put those same keywords in, that video would pop right to the top.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm not making it up. We didn't even mean to do this. He was just trying to find it to pop it up. And it's like, why can't I get it? I'm putting in all the right keywords. It just happened. It's on the news. Why isn't it there? And it is there. You just have to dig really hard. So our breaking news is merely this. Going back to what my whole show was about. I'm not picking a side. I'm not saying the left or the right. I'm saying be careful about what you trust. Be careful about assuming the sources of your information, whether they're social platforms, which are all algorithm based, and we know they filter to give you what you want to see anyway to some extent. I'll get different searches than someone else will get. Or whether it's your political elites, be careful what you trust, because just because they say it doesn't mean it's 100% true. That's it. That's our breaking news. Thanks, Crafty. Think what you want, guys. Do the search yourself. Happy New Year.
Have a good one, guys.